Be careful what you wish for. You just might get it all. Take a moment, stand up, go to a mirror, and look into it. What did you see? Now, some of the smartasses out there will probably say, well, I saw myself. Willing to bet a good portion of you looked into that mirror and started to think of something along the lines of, my arms look small. I wish my, chest was bigger. I wish my stomach was flatter. I wish I had a six-pack. I wish I was ripped. You looked into that mirror and you picked out a bunch of flaws. I'm also under the impression that if you got what you wished for, that flatter stomach, chiseled abs, bigger arms, etc., that you think you'd be happier. Right? But what if I told you that maybe that's farther from the truth than you ever realized? If you open any social media app and scroll long enough, quite honestly, it probably won't take too long, you will stumble across a person, whether it be male or female, that has good looks, is a good looking person, most likely ripped athletic physique, telling you or showing you how happy or great their life is. You think, if only that were me. After all, about 83% women and 74% men, those ages 18 through 34, reported feeling dissatisfied with how their bodies looked. But some who have achieved this goal have stated, I'm in the best shape I've ever been, but I feel awful. I feel terrible, says one guy. A YouTuber by the name of Josh Brett made a video about a month ago talking about the consequences of being too lean. In the video, he talks about the side effects of being too lean that most people seem to ignore, but the side effects are more than just physical. It's also mental. The video opens up with a jacked guy. He's fairly ripped, I'd say around maybe his 50s. He says, when you commit to a diet so hard that the smell of dog food or dog shit makes you hungry, you know you're on a serious levels of commitment. End quote. Yeah, I'm no expert, but that doesn't sound good. That sounds like your body, most importantly your brain, telling you that you are so hungry you want to eat anything, even things you'd never considered eating before. It's a real phenomenon that happens in society. It's why people who are stuck in the mountains usually wind up dining on one of each other. Let's say it that way. Your brain tells you you're in a life or death situation and that you need to eat anything to keep up energy to sustain itself. Foods you never thought you'd taste or consider, foods that you absolutely hate, you'd be willing to eat in a heartbeat because you're that hungry. This takes me into part 3 of this video. The lie. Many people see a shredded body as the peak form of being an athlete, or even the peak of being a male or female. We are always told that being fat or obese is unhealthy, and while it is, very much so, it claims the lives of many individuals each year, and depending on who you ask, they would rank it around about the fifth most common killer globally. Being lean or shredded, though, doesn't come without its own downsides. People who are too shredded have reported and can have symptoms such as mood swings or changes, disrupted sleep, and low libido, but most commonly is feeling cold or prone to injury. You may ask, but Spectral, I'm working out, I'm training, I'm getting stronger with my muscles. Shouldn't it be the opposite, you know? One of the symptoms that I stated is sleep inability, you know? You have trouble sleeping. For those who may not be aware, sleeping is very crucial to how your body recovers from strain. As we all know, whoever has dabbled into exercise, lifting weights especially, the basic premise, and I'm going to keep this very brief because one, I'm not fully licensed in that medical field. And two, I want to keep it simple and not confuse anyone. Basically, when you lift a weight, you're causing small micro tears within your muscle. Over time, if done correctly, these tears will heal and you will become stronger. That's the very bare bones of it, very, very simplified. There's much more processes that go into it. But you're not sleeping better. Sleep, as I stated, is one of the best forms of rest recovery. It helps us recover so well, and people take it for granted. But also, people don't understand that your joints don't have any more cushion around it when you get to such a low body fat, a low percentage. You don't have as much fat, you have muscle. So there's nothing cushioning the impact of the strain of exercise that you put on your body. You also don't have a beneficial energy source. Your body can't take from the fat stored to help you keep pushing and pushing. One person said, it's like a battery that cannot restore to 100%. It's like you're at 50% all the time. People who worked out while super shredded have claimed, well, let's take it from this person. They're quoted saying, every single rep felt like my soul was being crushed. End quote. So as I stated before, the body, it thinks that it's in life and death. Basically, it's going to tell you, hey, we have to eat something. Eat anything, especially big. It's going to put you into this state where you want to just eat and gorge because your body's going to tell you to keep feeling hungry, keep feeling hungry, keep feeling hungry. So you're going to try and eat. And when you eat, you feel hungrier, because you're actually getting something. It's like, ooh, that feels good. Give us more, give us more. And people who do that, you'll see it in bodybuilders, all right? After the competition, they will eat and eat and eat because they feel shit. They feel absolutely terrible. They'll eat over and over and over again. And basically, when that happens, two things are most likely to occur after they gorge themselves. Either A, they feel incredibly bad for it. They're like, oh, I did all this shit to, work out and get to here, and now I'm eating. I feel bad. or B, they will feel the need to forcefully expel the food. Kind of like how people with bulimia, bulimic, they'll gorge and then they make themselves throw up, because they feel they feel like they're fat, but they're not. Most of the time they're incredibly underweight, and that's sad to put it lightly. This leads me into part 4 of this video, and that's the why. So why are many people convinced that being shredded, being at that low body percentage, why do they believe that will bring them happiness? Why do they think that's the key to solving all their troubles when it's not? And well, the society or social media is who you can direct your anger towards. We're often told if we aren't in shape, we are less of a man or a woman, less of a desirable partner or an unattractive partner. People seem happy in these videos, and they tell you, hey, you want to have the life I have? You want to be happy? You want to have, women or men flock around you, give you nice compliments, get shredded, do this and that, Meanwhile, most tell you they are natural when behind the scenes they take a workout enhancer or some other type of bullshit product to give the illusion that anyone can do it. Because if anyone can do it, of course, people are going to keep trying and trying because they think that if they work hard enough, they can get there. When, to be honest, genetically speaking, for some of you, that's going to be impossible. Can you get to a state where you look very good? Yes. Can everybody get a six pack? The problem is no, not everybody genetically can get a six pack. Because some people are more prone to storing fat in certain areas. So no matter how hard they try, or they might need to try more than the average person, they aren't going to see the results. And that's going to bring you down even more. So you either think that, hey, I need to diet more extreme, and people take dieting very extreme. Some people, they go about having just ice cubes in a banana and think that's okay when it's not. They become super skinny, and it's very, very dangerously unhealthy. They keep thinking, I gotta push myself more. And either A, they wind up with an even bigger eating disorder, or B, they hurt themselves because they push themselves too hard. These people who give the illusion, these influencers, they usually also tend to promote a product. Now, this product, I'm gonna be honest with you, it's mostly bullshit. It comes down to basically 3 things, which is A, it's a lie, it doesn't do what it said to do. It's a scam, basically. B, the stuff you take in these things are stuff that either A, naturally occurs, or B, if you eat correctly, you will have everything that you need. If you live a good lifestyle, you shouldn't be needing to take it unless genetically you have something wrong with you, where you have a deficiency and need to take something to make up for it. And C, the thing is, usually they put too much. Okay, so say you need, I don't know. I'm going to throw out random numbers. These aren't actual numbers. You need 10 milligrams of, I'm just going to use iron, okay? You need 10 milligrams of iron. The supplement will give you 20. All right, so you use the 10, but the other 10 from that 20 what happens to it? It doesn't do jack. It just either A, gets stored or is not used, so it's not useful. They want to prey on your insecurities to make a profit. And that's the big thing about this. You know, good bodies, they look good to us. So models are going to be shredded and people are going to look at that and they keep thinking, hey, he's happy. He looks happy. He's got everything that I want on the surface. So if I were like him, I would have everything that I want. And here is the thing that I want to tell you that's the big lie. It's not going to make you happy most of the time. People who reach a shredded level, basically like you can see your abs, etc., they get to this state where they think they're happy. And you think, hey, I got what I wanted. So everything's good now, right? No. No. I'm sorry to tell you, that's not always the case. The case is, that flaw is gone, so you're going to look for more. It used to be your stomach, now it's your arms. It used to be your arms, now it's your waist. It used to be your waist, and now it's something else. And usually it gets to the point where it's stuff that you cannot physically change because it's genetics. It's like, I don't like how this bone looks. It's like, what can you do? It's a bone. You can't change that. Honey, you can't change that. Basically, the solution is not... The solution that you're looking for is far deeper and more challenging to solve than just, hey, I need to get shredded. Alright? Getting shredded is a temporary band-aid over the problem. It's like putting a band-aid over a giant hole in the wall. It doesn't fix the fact that you still got a hole in the wall. It just, for the time being, it's holding together better than it was. It's the temporary solution that people find and latch onto. They keep pursuing it. Usually with problems like these, there is a deeper problem. Why? Ask yourself, why do I feel this way? Why am I conditioned this way? Why do I want this and that? Because I am unhappy with how I look. And where does that come from? Where does that sadness come from? Where does the depression come from? Where does all of this come from? It's because you think that doing all this will make you happy. When in reality, you could be setting yourself down a darker road than where you were. People look at these people and they're like, wow, man, I wish I could be you. And these people, they sometimes smile or they sometimes get real with you and say, you have no idea what it's like to be me. And it's not like you're skinny, you don't know what it's like. You have no idea how terrible it is to go sleepless. You have no idea how terrible it is to smell things and constantly feel hungry, constantly feel cold, constantly feel some way where you don't feel normal, where it disrupts your day-to-day activities. People often praise being shredded, being absolutely fit. And while it's good to work out, I will not deny that, they often never want to address the problems that come with it. They often either A, never tell you of the problems, B, You know, they kind of blow off the problems, you know, where it's like you get these people who work out and they yell all the time and they keep going like, keep telling you you're stupid, etc., etc. They'll try and break down the argument to make you seem like you're not knowing what you're talking about. When in reality, you have a good argument and a good point. And the other thing that people really like to say, and this is the big one that everyone always does, well, it's not as bad as being fat. You know, it's not as bad as being obese. Let me tell you something. Just because something's not as bad as another thing doesn't mean it's good for you. You could make the argument, all right, coffee, regular coffee, is better for you than energy drinks. It doesn't make drinking coffee all the time good for you. It's a better alternative, but better does not always equal healthy. Better does not always equal good for you. Is it less harmful in certain aspects? Yes. But it does cause harm. It does cause mental anguish. It does cause depression. It causes you to keep searching for flaws when you get too in deep with it. You keep looking for something because you can't feel content because you're not actually solving the root cause of your problem. You keep putting that band-aid, and when that band-aid falls off the wall, you put another one or a bigger one on it, and you keep wondering, why am I not happy? Why am I not happy? I thought I'd be happy. You know, I got the body I want. It's still not enough because you're not solving your actual problem. And the problem is that society and Instagram makes you believe that you'll be happy if you do all this. If you completely destroy yourself in some situations, you'll be happy. When in the reality is they're pushing for something that might make you feel worse than what you are. No matter if you're healthy, no matter if you're shredded or obese, it comes with its ups, it comes with its downs. It comes with its good, bad, and in between. It comes with its demons. People die regardless of if they're obese or if they're super shredded. So just because it's not one thing doesn't make it any better than the alternative. All right? Stop bullshitting. Something being bad is bad. End of the story. No matter what argument you have for it, it's bad for you. Being this way, you shouldn't feel absolutely terrible. You shouldn't feel like your soul's getting ripped or anything like that. You shouldn't look into the mirror and think, you know, I got a Frankenstein my body. That's the best way of putting it. You shouldn't think that way. It's not good for you. It's not healthy. And being on both sides, you will feel that way. You're not going to be happy doing this. And this is the lie that's been drilled into your head for years and years and years. This is the side that nobody wants you to see. And when you do, people always want to brush you off. People always want to say it's not that bad. People always want to say this and that. People always want to just dismiss it. It's not good. It's not any better. Basically, you know, my argument is being super shredded, dieting super, like, to an extreme point, it's body dysmorphia. And while there are a low percent of people who would look at a runway model who's as skinny as a twig or a pencil, there are some people who think it's beautiful. Oh, it's this and that. You got a large percentage of people speaking out more against it. So if that's not okay, then why is it okay to do the same thing just in a different light? You're doing basically the same thing. You're starving yourself. But people seem to welcome and cheer on being shredded to a point that's unhealthy. So if one thing is bad, why is the same thing in a different light good? That's the question that I pose to you. If it's not good for one thing, then why is it good for another thing? Why? Because society has drilled it into you. People have told you that it is good when it can have its bad sides. Like anything out there, nothing nothing in the world comes without its demons. You cannot have light without shadow. No matter where in the world you go, no matter how good a thing is, there's always a dark side to the world that we are in. I really, really implore that you guys check out, um, hang on, let me see, the channel Josh Brett. He gave me a lot of. I watched his video of being the consequences of being too lean. He's very good. He does graphs. He has his own personal experiences. He definitely is more knowledgeable on this subject. And there's a lot of other fitness people out there who do talk about the consequences and are more knowledgeable in sports medicine and other stuff like that. I am not very knowledgeable. I'm just, on one hand, I'm regurgitating information to you, but on the other hand, I'm giving my own instances where I am knowledgeable in certain things. I do not have a degree in sports medicine. I want to make that very clear. I'm just giving my opinion and my thoughts. So go check out him. There's other people out there too. Let me find. I want to find them for you. One other person. Yeah. So we got Josh Brett, as I mentioned, but there's also this guy. His name's Sean. He does some good stuff. He's very knowledgeable with how he does things, how he goes to it. So I'm gonna butcher his last name. So it's Sean, NalewanYJ. I don't want to butcher his last name, but like he does things good. He has graphs. He has knowledge. So I'd recommend checking those two out. Josh Brett does many videos talking about this subject. So be sure to check them out. and I'll link them. I'll link them actually in the description of this video before it publishes, and I'll make sure to have that in the comments too. I'll have links to both their channels, so be sure to check them out. They're more knowledgeable. They talk about it better than I can. I thank you for joining this video. Also, after this video comes out, I'm going to be doing a short. Basically, I'm taking a break from YouTube. I'll talk about it more in the short, definitely. So I'll see you guys there.